In this tutorial, we'll be solving for x, where x is part of an exponent. It's a little bit of a tricky one, so let's walk ourselves through it. Our question: solve, expressing your answer as an exact value, 3 to the 1 minus x equals 7 to the 2x. Now, recognizing that we're solving for an x as part of an exponent should make us think of logarithms. So, we're going to log both sides of this equation to get x down from the exponents. When we log the left side, the exponent 1 minus x ends up out front here. And the same thing happens when we log the right side. That is, the 2x ends up out front. In simpler questions, we'd start rearranging for x at this point. In this question, though, we have a couple of x's to deal with, one on the left side and one on the right. Our next step, therefore, would be to work towards getting the x's on one side, and we can do this by multiplying everything out here. Log 3 times 1 gives us log 3, and log 3 times negative x gives us minus x log 3. And on the right-hand side, everything's still the same. We can start rearranging to get the x on one side. It looks like moving the x's to the right side might be the handiest here, although either side is fine. So let's add x log 3 to both sides. On the left, we now have only log 3. And on the right, we now have 2x log 7 plus x log 3. We now have all the x terms on the right and the non-x terms on the left. Excellent. We factor out the x, and this may not be an obvious step, but you'll soon see why this works so well. With the x factored out, we can now divide both sides by this 2 log 7 plus log 3 to get the x all by itself. And that leads us to our final answer. In this tutorial, we looked at solving problems with the variable in the exponents, and we recognize that this makes a nice logarithm problem. Once we've logged both sides, we see that we have two x's in this particular problem. And to isolate x, we had to multiply things out to separate the terms, and then we moved all the x terms to one side and the non-x terms to the other. And this allowed us to factor the x out, leading to a division and our solution.